For more on China-Vietnam relations, let me turn to Einar Tagen. He's a senior fellow at the Taihe Institute and chairman of Asia and Narratives. Einar, what is your takeaway from President Xi's state visit to Vietnam? Clearly more than 36 agreements, a lot of handshakes and pledges about trust and cooperation. But at the end of the day, are we going to see any immediate change in this relationship?
Well, Asieh, I mean, the difference between Washington's agreement in September and the one that Xi just put is proximity. Washington's a long ways away, and although exports by Vietnam to Washington, to America have grown dramatically, there's been a slight drop-off as global demand has gone on. Meanwhile, China is absolutely vital to Vietnam. It's where a lot of the intermediate goods that go into a lot of the exports, especially these Chinese companies, are using Vietnam basically to get around the embargo of trades or the tariffs that are put on Chinese goods. So, I mean, it's a complex relationship. What was notable was this idea of adopting a shared future. This is very, very important, and also talking about preventing color revolutions.
President Xi also said China and Vietnam should oppose any attempt, and I'm quoting here, to mess up the Asia-Pacific. What does that mean exactly, and was that a message to the United States here?
Well, absolutely. It's very pointed. You know, I have to remember that Vietnam, along with other countries, is also interested, has claims in the South China Seas, in particular to the Thomas Shoals, where the Philippines insisted on ramming an old World War II boat. They have claims there, as does the mainland. And you know, it's one of these areas where China is saying, look, we don't want to become another Gaza. We don't want to become another Ukraine. You know, I think ASEAN members, including Vietnam especially, are well aware of the extent to which the U.S. is willing to use military intervention, gunboat diplomacy, when it suits them.
Did these two countries make any concrete headway, Einar, on maritime differences? You know, as you're very well aware, there are territorial disputes in the South China Sea. I mean, President Xi said they've agreed to turn challenges into opportunities. What does that mean exactly, and where do we go from here?
Well, we're going to have to see what the details of that are. I mean, it's the expression of these two leaders that they want to come to some sort of agreement. And as I was, you know, saying earlier, both countries are well aware that they do not want the South China Seas to become an area of contention. That would definitely interfere with any kind of economic progress, especially that Vietnam has been making in terms of trade. And, you know, this is something where they're, yes, very concrete. They want to see this settled. The question is the details.
Yeah, as they say, the devil is in the detail. And does this put Vietnam perhaps in an interesting balancing position, Einar? From one side, it obviously wants to have a good relationship with the United States. And on the other side, it wants to have similarly good relationship with China.
Well, you know, this is what they call bamboo diplomacy. It's fairly flexible. It kind of goes where the wind goes. But, you know, this is very, very clearly the pattern that is starting to emerge here. Countries do not want to choose. Washington will often come in and say, you know, you're either with us or against us. The answer there is this as well. Of course, we want to have good trade and good relations with you. But clearly, you know, a big neighbor like China, with the kind of economic interdependence that goes along with their trade, this is extremely important. And as I said, the difference is proximity. Washington is not going to be putting any rails connecting any part of the United States, Vietnam, whereas, this previous stories showed, the crossing at that bridge is very, very active. A new railway will extend the economic opportunities for both sides. And this is something that Washington cannot offer.
All right, we'll leave it there. Einar Tagen, thank you.